My friends, host Derek here, host Talking with Friends people. Today I'm going to talk about somebody who's incredibly important to me. I'm going to talk about mental illness and what it actually looks like and what it actually means and how tragic it is. And there may be some people who want to judge me for inadequately respecting Rachel's privacy or something like that. If you think that mental illness is something to be ashamed of, and that she needs to have that kept secret, fuck off, you know? Rachel had a psychotic episode, and I've been in a shitty relationship where somebody's really toxic, and I might even sometimes say something like, this borders on mental illness or something. Not even close. Real mental illness is a genuine break with reality entirely. Rachel is now currently admitted to the hospital after a very, very long ordeal of trying to get her to cooperate, calm down. She had a manic episode. She went around the neighborhood like unplugging people's Christmas lights and vandalized my parents' garage. Like ran the hose all in, put the hose in my dad's car. When I asked her why, she told me that her family was sitting in that car and the people were having sex in the garage. So the thing is, I want to stress, this is not a time for exploiting something for spiteful purposes. If you're here to talk shit, I don't want to hear it. Rachel is a beautiful, wonderful young woman and very precious to me. And I'm going to have to lose her. I'm going to have to send her back to New York. This morning I had her at one hospital, and I thought I had her sort of settled in, waiting for the psych evaluation, and I got selfish, and I was like, okay, I gotta run home, which I kind of did. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Please don't go anywhere. I told the nurse, if you leave, call me. As soon as I get home, the nurse calls, says she bolted. We tried to stop her. She just walked straight out. I turned right around, drove right back to the hospital, drove her on the streets, calling her name, sobbing. Then you met her out walking the cold streets with no money, no wallet, no phone, nothing. And turned out she never even left the hospital entirely. She just left the back part. Nurses weren't talking to each other. But think how I felt when I left, you know, because I was too selfish to stay there with her. It was one of the most appalling moral failings of my life. Anyway, I didn't leave her again until the doctor said, until she got 5150. I think she acted out like that at the last one, where I need you to please cooperate. I'm begging her all day, I think she acted out and threatened that guy just to help me get her admitted. I don't know. It was hard to tell what she was thinking. That's crazy. We call people crazy. We call people narcissistic. We call people toxic. We call people whatever. Fuck, I had no idea what actual mental illness looked like. Actual mental illness is seeing and hearing things that aren't there, making no sense, thinking your family from New York is sitting in my garage, thinking you have to go squirt down the garage because people are having sex in there, and it's disgusting. That's actual mental illness. It doesn't change the fact Rachel is a beautiful, wonderful woman. That she's my fitted other half, really. Physically, we're amazingly well fit together. Like, just every part of her fits right into my nooks, Her taste in music. I've never encountered anybody with such impeccably good taste in music. No, I mean, I learned something today with his mom, which was what it means when you no longer blame your partner. What it really means when you really no longer blame your partner. When you totally no longer blame them. Or anything, no matter how fucked up it is. You don't blame them at all. There was a moment when she seemed to be coming out of it. And she was doing this thing. And she's thinking back to what she had done. And I identified so strongly with that. I remember I used to get blackout drunk. I'd wake up the next morning and I'd be like, what did I do? And there's nothing anybody can do to say or to help you. You were at the mercy of your worst parts. And whatever you did or said, no matter how fucked up it was, you gotta live with it. You gotta live with the consequences of it. So, my plan is to head back to the hospital around 6, maybe. Visiting hours last until 8. I imagine she won't really be very aware or anything, but I want to at least bring her some things, her phone, etc. Yeah, there's a history of it. She stopped taking the meds. I don't know why. And then, a few days ago, she started going on her period, and she stopped sleeping. Like before that, maybe even. I noticed because we have 2 twin beds here because, both these things are not beds, but they both fold out into the equivalent of twin beds, and it's uncomfortable sleeping 2 people in one twin bed, so we started each sleeping on different ones, and I'd look over in the middle of the night, and she'd be up on her phone, day after day, night after night. And then she started getting really nasty. And I didn't know what it was. So we got in a big fight. I yelled at her, like, why did you answer my fucking questions? And obviously I feel terrible about that. And when I told Delilah this story, she fucking reamed me about how I have to stop yelling at people. A lot of people can't take that. She's right. Yes, please mention his mom. I know she has a shrink back there. Oh, no. Um, that, I found that name too. That's not have anything to do with Rachel. Don't bother with it. I found that name too. I know what you're talking about. Is it a real estate thing? Wait, no, it's a real estate thing, right? Or no, maybe I didn't find it actually. I found a real estate agent in Long Island named Rachel Appaloosa, but it's not Rachel. Well, the thing is this. She put me in an untenable situation. She can't stay with me here. I just can't ask that of my father, and I just can't. In fact, even if I could, I wouldn't. I don't have the extra caregiving attention to give to Rachel. I need to give it to my mom and my dad. And she's made it so I have to choose. And it's not her fault, but oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. What's his mom? Yeah, Delilah does mean well, but she's sort of right anyway. I did feel as though I caused it for a while when I was yelling at her, and then she ran out, and then the cops came and followed her back here and said she was um, pulling out Christmas lights and stuff. Well, Alexander Cruz, that's true. She needs to go back to New York, where her medical services are, where her insurance is, where her therapist is, where her family is. Now, I have it would make me feel a lot better if Rachel's parents would do me the unbelievable favor of just letting Rachel smoke pot. It's all she wants from you, really. It's the one thing that she just can't take. You won't let her smoke weed. It's not hurting her at all. It doesn't hurt her one bit. And I hate to send her back to the place. But I want you to care what she wants. You to care what matters to her. I want her to be loved like I love her. And no, I don't have to break up with her. That's true. And I don't plan on it actually. I can be in a long distance relationship for a while potentially. I don't, to be honest, think it'll probably last long distance, but I'm certainly willing to start out that way. I know that she's hugely important to me in ways that I never knew I really needed. She loves me so well, you know. I mean, Swift Eagle, this is the thing. She didn't hide the fact that she was taking those psych pills from me. But I was not entirely unaware. The thing is, the way she positioned stuff, um, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Well, Countess, this is the thing. When she was here with me, taking her drugs, smoking weed, she was fine. When she's in New York, taking her drugs, and she's not supposed to be smoking weed and being punished and stuff, what she does, she's still smoking weed. So just let her. She needs some control too. She needs some power in this too. I hate the way this process steals from her autonomy and her control and her ability to make decisions for herself. I hate the way the disease and mental illness says that to her. And I hate the way that the solution does that. Look, I'm just asking if you really love her. I can't believe you do. On that one issue, don't frame it as what's best for her. Frame it as what's most important to her. Please. Hey, Countess, listen. I've spent 3 months with this girl, and the thing she resents most is that when she's mentally ill, nobody affords her any legitimacy or power about anything. When she gets out of the hospital, they'll say, now here's a bunch of stipulations you have to follow. She's already robbed us so much by the illness. Can't we do the best we can to take as little away from her additionally as possible? She's bipolar mania. Yeah, I've talked to her parents. No, I've been on the phone with their mom back and forth. We've been talking. And this is my way of letting mom know also that she's been admitted. My phone died. I couldn't, that's why I didn't call you back again. I'm still charging it. Yeah, it's something I've never seen before. I've not experienced it before. I didn't have any familiarity with actual mental illness. It's like we all go through life calling various people crazy or talking about their mental health or whatever, or you're narcissistic, like I said earlier, or whatever, all that kind of bullshit. And let me tell you, there's some nasty fucking people out there. But real mental illness involves a genuine, complete detachment from reality that is not what people that are called crazy usually are experiencing at all. You know, people call me crazy. They have executive function disorder. You know, he's got a lot of problems, a lot of mental problems. I've read some of the Reddit threads on me and stuff. You know, early in this process, as she was starting to unravel. She sent a text to a former partner's significant other, to a former partner, and that former partner's significant other sent a text back to her, and it was so nasty about me, not about her. The idea that I'm manipulating her and I've been exploiting her and all this other shit. The thing is, despite this, prior to it, despite it, whatever you want to say, this is actually Swift Eagle. I don't want to. Look, I'm going to actually remove this comment. No, I am not trying to blame anybody for causing this. People don't cause this with their behavior. This sort of thing is not. It is not damage. It is not baggage. It is not excessive fussiness. It is not. It is a complete break from reality. It's genuine mental illness. It's like nothing I've ever seen. And that's why I removed that shit. Hey, Octavia Silva? Oh, you had another one? Okay, fine. Look, sometimes at the beginning she had a slight slur when she was heavily medicated, I guess. Other people might say, Eric, why would you want to be with this person? I love her. I love her, and she's a wonderful woman. And yeah, she has a mental illness. Still the best relationship I've ever had. And it's coming more or less to an end. It's been the most difficult day of my life, except for the only other day I can think of being more difficult was the day or day after my dog died. Those were the worst days of my life. Yeah, this is the thing. Real mental illness is not caused by drug use either. It is not caused by drug use. Yeah, I've researched it last night. If it's caused by drug use, it's not a genuine psychotic episode. And this certainly isn't caused by drug use. It was caused by a lack of drug use. Hi, Joel. I've been wanting to talk to you. Our friendship's fine. You and me are fine. I have no problem with you at all. And I appreciate all you've done for me. In fact, I've been just kind of afraid to reach out to you because it's like, fuck off, Eric. Where you been? And I get that. And I'm sorry. When I ignore my friends for long stretches of time, it's because of some character failing in me. Something I want to work on. I'm sorry. She's not using any drugs, Alan Black. Marijuana is not a fucking drug. Everybody needs to understand this. She doesn't get high any more than I do. I'm not doing any other drug. Or alcohol. She had a glass of wine like 2 weeks ago. And a glass of wine like maybe a month before that. It's like the total amount of alcohol she's had when she's here. Okay, well, I know she can. I know she's been more functioning than she is now. And she will be again. I agree, sleep deprivation probably pushed her over the edge. I tried to get her to sleep. I'd ask her to sleep. I didn't even know she had any medication left. I didn't realize she'd stopped taking it. I kind of figured she'd run out. She's been 5150, which means she's involuntarily held at the hospital. When I left, they were strapping her to a gurney and sedating her. So, over the last few days, I've spoken with the police 3 times. First time when they were hot on her heels when she came back from her first jaunt around the neighborhood. Second time, the next morning when her mother asked the police to do a welfare check on her, which I have no problem with and appreciate her doing so. In fact, if she hadn't done so, I don't know how long it would have taken for me to find her mother's number. Rachel wasn't letting me touch her phone for sure. I didn't even bother to ask. And I don't even think she has her mother's phone number on there. Right. Well, yeah, Rachel is the normal one as well. That's, I guess, fairly common, is that they insist they're the only one who's seeing things clearly and everybody else is crazy. Well, look, we are separating in the sense that she does need to go back to New York. But I'm not breaking up with her. Not right now. And I'm going to see how it goes long distance. Because other people, when they hear this story, or they see Rachel on the live streams occasionally acting a little weird or whatever, they might think, why would you want to be with her? I can't find myself singing that Katy Perry lyric. But she says, my missing puzzle piece. Because, we fit together in so many ways so well. Yeah, I got you, Dylan. Thank you. Her taste in media is amazing. She's always right about media, and nobody's even close to always right about media, except of course me, who's always right about media. She's almost always right about media too. I remember one thing she was wrong about. I'm going to tell you what she was wrong about. But she wasn't even wrong about this because she said it when she was. She said that Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus is a terrible song. Now, there's a lot of shit I can forgive. But I can't forgive that. No, I'm joking. But the thing is, it is a really great song. And she said that because she wanted to hurt me. Because don't do that, Joel Nathan Henry. Please. Anyway, there's actually an important song in our relationship. Because when I picked her up at the airport, I had cued that song in the car. I've been listening to songs on the way to the airport, trying to find the right song to cue up for her when I picked her up. I listened to my playlist, Snappy Tracks. And of course, the beginning of that song, LAX. Let me look at the lyrics because it was perfect. And in fact, hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan. Well, she did actually get off the plane with a cardigan, too. Anyway, the lyrics of the song are great for somebody who's coming to LA for the first time. Welcome to the land of fame, excess. Whoa, am I going to fit in? Jumped in the cab. Here I am for the first time. Look to my right. I see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everyone seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kind of homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. Jesus Christ. I just heard something over there. I turned expecting Rachel to be there. Yeah, Mom, actually, this is Mom, that's a great suggestion. I think I'll tell more than that, but it breaks my fucking heart. Anyway, so when I can't be that dedicated, Jenny B. I've got my mom to concern myself with. In fact, my dad just talked to me again about how increasingly he can't handle the load. He can't lift her. He's in his 80s himself. You know, when I was gone all day today, he had given the helper lady that he has hired the day off because it's Christmas. And when I drove back to presumably get back here, chill a bit, help Dad get Mom up out of bed, get her in the shower, do that stuff, and then go back. I told Rachel, I'll be back there before noon with your phone. When I got back here, I got that call from the nurse saying she bolted, and I had to turn right around and go try to, what I thought, search the streets for her, you know. Turned out she hadn't actually bolted all the way. She was still in the hospital, but she was just in a different part. Watching her go from states of super nasty, just like hatefulness, just weird bouts of like racism and stuff, and to realizing what's happening to her and breaking down and sobbing, and then laughing and smiling like everything's fine, and then having to strike her that something's going on. And Rachel doesn't have borderline personality, so I know what that's like. I've encountered that before. That's not nearly as insane as this. Not remotely as insane. Borderline personality disorder makes people incredibly difficult to deal with on a regular basis the closer you get. Actual mental illness, which is not a disorder, but an actual mental illness, is literally a literal break from reality. Hearing and seeing things that aren't there. Believing people are having sex in this garage on the other side of this wall. And going and squirting the hose in the garage. Believing her own family from New York is sitting in the car in the garage and putting the hose in there to squirt them. That's mental illness. That's real mental illness. BPD is a behavioral disorder that is very serious and makes relationships almost impossible. But it is not real mental illness. It is a real behavioral disorder. It makes it almost impossible for you to be in a relationship. One way you can tell the difference is there is no way to fix BPD. You can't fix BPD because it's a fundamental lack of trust.
That's what BPD is, an inability to trust. Okay.
Which makes it impossible to fix and impossible to be in a relationship with them long term. No matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care about them, they will act out like that. I don't know if my last girlfriend before Rachel was BPD or not, but she displayed a lot of those kinds of behaviors and had a very BPD-esque history. And it was incredibly difficult on me. Incredibly difficult on me. Shockingly difficult on me. Rachel, on the other hand, has been a joy and a blessing 90% of the time. Big fucking difference. Massive difference. Rachel is crazy when she's not medicated, which means she's actually insane. Like, imagining, thinking things that aren't there, thinking that she knows celebrities that she doesn't possibly know, thinking that like TV shows are about her, that people are sending her secret messages in their YouTube videos, which is something I experienced from people in the past, but she didn't think that about me. Right. Well, Countess, you're right. If bipolar disorder is untreated, it is very much worse, I'm sure, than BPD. The difference is, and the reason we know BPD is a disorder and mental illness is a real illness, one of the reasons is medication can cure, or at least tamp down completely-ish mental illness, but it can't do that with BPD. And the thing is this, I want to go back to what I said at the very beginning. There may be people out there who want to criticize me, shame me, condemn me for talking about this because I'm somehow violating Rachel's privacy. First of all, I don't know how I can process this thing without talking about it. It is literally, it has been the most, it hasn't, I will say yes, my dog dying was a more purely difficult pain to deal with. But this has been the most emotionally wrenching back and forth. And she didn't hide it from me, Sarah. She didn't hide it from me at all. She's been completely honest with me. I didn't know what it meant, really. I didn't get it, you know. I'd never seen actual mental illness before. Now I have. Now I know what it is. That's what it means to be SI fourth slot. You don't really know shit at all until dementia is very different. Rachel doesn't have schizophrenia. She has bipolar mania. These are my messages to her family. These are all my messages to her family, you know? It's that I never didn't love Rachel. I've always loved her. I fell in love with her right away. The first few days I was talking to her. Be kind to her. Foremost, please. Don't foremost police her. Please. I mean, to be perfectly honest, Jenny B, I don't have a choice. This is not my home, it's my parents' home. I'm here to assist my mom and my dad in their old age. My mom in her time of great need, when she has dementia. And it has proceeded to the place now where I have to lift her into the shower. I have to wash her physically, head to toe, with a washcloth and soap. I have to wipe her half the time when she poops. I have to lift her into bed. I have to lift her out of bed. I have to, every time she has to go to the bathroom, I need to go in there, put her in the toilet. I cannot possibly, my dad wouldn't even allow it if I did. I cannot possibly have my father to allow Rachel to continue to stay here. And even if he were to allow me to, I wouldn't allow it because I can't do that to my parents. It doesn't matter if she's stable or not. It's just too much of a liability, of volatility. I just can't let her stay. Well, here's the thing. First of all, like I said, she's 5150. So, no, my dad is calm as fucking day. He's just TE Dom in his element. Well, you know, I could file charges for vandalism. Yeah, I know that. The thing is, as soon as I saw it, she was down to the garage, I called the police. She had no longer given me any choice. I didn't know what else to do. They came, and fortunately, I'm glad I called them because although they said I was the wrong people to call, they were the wrong people to call. They, hi Joey Joe Jojo Shabadoo. Thank you. It's awful. Anyway, yeah. So this is the thing, Sam Smith. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be fucking further from the truth. %99 of people have no fucking idea what mental illness is, as I didn't until the last few days. To say that everybody's on the mental illness spectrum is complete bullshit. I'm perfectly mentally well. I don't have any sort of mental problems. Yes, I'm diagnosed as ADHD. People say that's an executive function disorder. Bullshit. It's being an idiot on. I don't even take Adderall anymore. I mean, I haven't really. I do sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I haven't quit taking Adderall. I'm just saying I haven't taken it for weeks now, basically. I took a few days ago. I had to go to work, but like 20 milligrams. And I haven't taken it in days. And, you know, in some ways, I'm actually more effective without it. Depends what you consider effective. I don't really get as much work done by any stretch of the imagination, but when I do get shit done, I'm get shit done. All right, cool. Thanks, Countess. Good FE policing. I appreciate it. I mean, you know, it's actually not it's not irrelevant. I'm trying to draw a distinction between different kinds of things that people get labeled, right? People get labeled autism spectrum disorder. Complete fucking bullshit. That's just another word for people. People get labeled ADHD. Mostly bullshit. Now, not completely bullshit, but mostly bullshit. There are some kids who have additional kinds of problems in the special ed community who have something that's called ADHD that's not the same sort of thing that I have, but that actually makes them have attention deficit disorder, which means like they can't pay attention for like 5 seconds to anything. You know, I think I'm going to put that guy in timeout too.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Horseman Blur says, "You're doing good, Eric. This stuff needs the light of day. Honest openness is the most respectful way. It's important to acknowledge what lies within and beyond the bounds of agency in this case." Thank you. Um, I agree with you that honest openness is the most respectful way. I am not. You'll note how different this is than when I have a fight with a significant other. When I have a fight with a significant other, it's not a possibility, Swift Eagle. It's not. That's insane. We're not playing guess the diagnosis today, okay? They don't have autism then, Countess. And they don't have autism. You're not talking about autism, Angantyr, and those people aren't using the word autism as an insult, aren't talking about autism anyway. They're talking about social awkwardness. That's different. Autism is an actual mental disability. There are no genius autistics. There are mentally retarded autistics who are also savants, but there are no smart autistic people. They're all mentally retarded. Larry Johansson, we have no time for that today. Okay, well, Sarah Jasmine, and the thing is, hey, to anybody who had harsh comments and stuff about Rachel, I was unaware too, and I get a certain amount of normal back and forth fray that happens, and I don't blame anybody for engaging that without that knowledge. Now we all know, and okay, Asperger's isn't a real thing, Dark Phoenix. What you're saying is INTJs are mostly gifted. You're right. Most INTJs qualify as gifted by most definitions of gifted. That's true. And it has nothing at all to do with autism. The reason they're gifted is because they're not autistic. Asperger's is not a thing. They don't even have the name for it anymore. Now it's just all autism spectrum disorder. Can Krishna Summer Fagu, you are absolved. We are all absolved today. It's Christmas. I want to mention also tomorrow is 7 years without alcohol for me. Six years without alcohol? I think it's 7 though. I'm pretty sure it's 7. But it could be 6. Anyway. I just want to encourage everybody who has an opinion about or doesn't have an opinion about mental illness to realize that it's, unless you really know you've had a family member who's delusional, who's imagining shit that's not there, you don't know yet. You've not experienced it. You don't know what it's like to be talking to a loved one who a few days ago was talking perfectly normally and now is mistaking you for her ex-boyfriend. So the other thing that happened during our conversation is she's like, I told you I liked that song, but you said I liked the wrong part because the other guy wrote it. It's not my fault the other guy wrote the better part of your song. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. She's talking about her ex-boyfriend, Billy Orlando, who wrote a song for her
apparently she liked the part of the song that the other guy wrote. He got somebody to help him write it. And she told Billy, like, hey, I really like the part of the song that um, that you didn't write. And he got upset about it, I guess. You're describing schizophrenia, Eric? Synthetic weed is not weed. Synthetic weed is not to be smoked at all. That's terrible. Okay? Synthetic weed is a terrible, terrible idea. Autism is very real. Asperger's isn't. No, she was not hiding anything from me. I didn't diagnose bipolar. Her psychiatrist did back in New York.
The thing is, I also get now something that perhaps I didn't give much respect to before, which was this like symptom cluster thing as a way of diagnosing people. You must have delusions, you must have magical thinking, delusions, meow, 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 or whatever. A few different things they say. And fucking Rachel ticked off all those boxes. And boom. Yeah, I am. That's what I'm doing. But that doesn't mean I'm breaking up with her. I mean, look, I can't make any promises going forward. If somebody else wants to say that the professional psychiatrist misdiagnosed her, she's not bipolar mania, she's actually schizophrenia, who the fuck cares? It's not like they have a real good clarity about which drugs work for which thing. It's more like which drugs work for which people. So the point is, it was effective at determining that she was not just acting weird, that she was mentally ill. And there's a big difference, big, huge difference. It's like, but I mean, this is what I mean about the difference between actual mental illness or actual disorder kind of a thing versus bullshit. I'll come back in a second. Like, look at this. So, there's no medical treatment for BPD, only symptom management. This is why we know it's a real disorder. It's not bullshit, right? We know it's a real disorder because we can see the actual harms incurred in relationships. If you've ever been in a relationship with a BPD person, or if you know anybody who's been in a relationship with a BPD person, you know how much fucking damage they do. They do a shit ton. My friend's wife, she's got BPD and she did a shit ton of damage. He's still with her. If you've seen that, you know, that's a real disorder. It's a behavioral disorder. It prevents these people from behaving decently to other human beings. Basically, the closer the person gets to them, which is an incredibly tragic irony. The thing is, I kind of agree with Sam Smith here. Psychiatry kind of is a bullshit specialty, not particularly evidentially based, although it actually is, but it's kind of like trial and error. You know, it is based on the empirics of people's self-reporting their experience of the drugs. But that doesn't mean that mental illnesses aren't real. Even if psychiatry is bullshit, is to some extent,
Sam Smith's got a point. It doesn't matter because it is the best we have at the moment, and there's no doubt that mental illness is real. Here's another way we can tell the difference between something that's real and something that's bullshit. So let's look at ADHD versus BPD. I'm more or less the same, whether I'm on it or not. I'm just less productive. I get tired faster. I don't get to get super giddy thwack out time or whatever on some piece of work. I just gotta kind of slog through it. That's the difference between me on my ADHD medication and me not on it. Here's the thing: only some few people actually get any of these supposed effects of ADHD medication that are good, namely increased productivity, but everybody gets the same effect. So it's like everybody gets twacked out, only some people actually are more productive on it. Does that mean the people who are more productive on it are necessarily wrong with them ahead of time? No, because you have to determine that based on, are there actual concrete, empirically determinable harms? In a VPD relationship, there are real harms. You can see them. Any third party observer can watch that interaction occur and will agree what's going on if they have any sense of sane evaluation, if they get enough data to look at. Not the case with ADHD at all. So, a different kind of a thing. ADHD is a description of a configural imbalance. Everybody has a configural imbalance of some sort. My configural imbalance has the name ADHD. INTJ's configural balance has the name Asperger's syndrome. How do we know this? Well, there's no actual problems. People with Asperger's don't have mental disabilities. They don't have cognitive delays or retardation, or whatever you want to call it. They don't have it because it's not a real thing. Well, Sam Smith, you're a little edgy, but you made me laugh in this dark moment. Bipolar is not a personality disorder. Correct, Sean Ryan there. Bipolar is an actual mental illness, or at least the kind of bipolar mania that Rachel has is an actual mental illness, and involves actual disconnections from reality, actual hallucinations and stuff, hearing people who aren't there, seeing things that aren't there. When I was gone from Queen of the Valley briefly this morning, and I came back, she told me that one of the problems was she kept everybody, they had so many people in the hospital who were imitating my voice, who had the exact same voice as me. And she was hearing it on all sides, and she was trying to find me. Personality are those elements the person can be reliably said to persist unchanged over time. Now, the Big Five, by that definition, likes to stab its flag into the ground and say, see, we can empirically prove these attributes as we define them stay consistent over time. Therefore, that's personality. Except the Big Five doesn't explain anything. It doesn't explain why, for example, someone's conscientiousness is high and their openness is low. It just says it is. It also imposes this weird normative thing onto everybody. It's good to be agreeable. It's good to be open. It's good to be conscientious. It's bad to be neurotic. Fuck you, Big Five. Sam Smith, did you hear my answer? It's easy. It's well defined, but personality is those aspects that stay the same over time. So I guess I'm going to bring this video to a close. And I just want to say, Rachel, if you're watching this at some point, in the Jake Forrest, she can't. She needs to go back to New York, where her services are, her insurance is, all that kind of stuff. I will give Rachel everyone's love and their best. I'm going to wrap this up. I need to Sarah Jasmine, that is such a Eurotalk sounding way of describing things. Rachel, I love you. I hope you're okay. If you're watching this, I hope you get to the end. I hope you see this part and know that I'm going to be coming to the hospital tonight to drop off some stuff at least. I don't know if they're going to let me see you or not. I will. Putting you on time on this house. I just don't want the negativity right now. I just can't take it. So, okay, let me get back to what I was saying. Rachel, I love you. I'm here. I'll be at the hospital as much as I can. Thank you, Mrs. Mom. I believe you. And bring your phone and your charger and stuff. And let me get you back to New York. But I'm not breaking up with you. I won't even consider looking at any other woman until I do. I promise you. Unless I do. We'll see how this thing works out. Sarah, not the right time. It doesn't matter if it's true. Okay? I will try to write some songs for her. For sure. I'll try to. I don't know if I can right now. I just have like the hardest, the most challenging for sure, 16 hours of my life. And my heart's broken for her. And I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'll see you soon, sweetie. Night, everybody.